Oh no, I forget what my username on Twitch. Oh yeah, it's Cubs Fantasy Stream. Welcome. I should have logged into my computer before I did this. But hi, the Cubs are losing quite often. Ah, it's making me put in an added security measure. I appreciate it. But today, very excited. I don't know if David Price has won any Cy Youngs, but I'm guessing he's been at least close. I was actually kind of sad. I did want the Cubs to get him when he was available. Sorry. But they didn't. But that's okay because he's had arm issues, which is unfortunate. Oh. But he's been good. I mean, he could rebound this year. He's looking like he's doing okay. I mean, he's 1-2 with the Dodgers, but looking pretty good. Very similar records. This could be a very good game, actually. And Kyle Hendricks, the professor, who's only had one bad start. Yeah. I think he's left-handed, too. David Price is left-handed, and yeah, he is. So that kind of... this is interesting in that I kind of shake up the lineup a little when a lefty gets on the mound. Yes, fuck Steven Souza. That's two lefties in a row that the Cubs are going to be facing. Who's playing center right now? Oh, Ian Happ. He doesn't have them. Nope. Sorry, Ian. I don't think you're going to play either. I might... I might just let Jason Hayward play to have good defense here. I'm going to also put Nico Horner in somewhere. Hernan's been playing okay, actually. You know what? I'm going to put Nico Horner in there, and then I'm going to put Hernan Perez in where Jason Hayward... Yeah. So let's hope the top of the order here can do stuff. I know the first two guys up have a lot of power. I'm very much relying on the power of them at the top of the order, which might be a bad idea, but we'll see. Oh, we'll see. David Price. Yeah, his strikeout numbers are good, right? Yep. His whip's not great. That's been a kind of a recurring theme, I feel like, is I've been a little surprised. 5-game hit streak, by the way. Chris Bryant ran 328, 6 home runs. That had a cool echo. Did you Brian? Taking myself out of the game there so that the computer can get it going. Chris Bryant, it pops out on one pitch. Foiled.
The shortstop.
So far.
I
like the singular boo. Boo! Just one guy who isn't happy with everything. Boo! But yeah, like I said, I know. And the 1-2 guys have the guys who have the best power against left-handed hitters. Or pitchers, I mean. But also especially with Chris Bryant, he's a good on-base guy. Yes, the power's there, but he can get on base. And then with Javier Baez's power, considering how anemic the team played yesterday. And I bought a special thing. In fact, I bought a special thing for when they hit a home run. And I think literally, I could be wrong. I don't know. But I literally think that yesterday's game might have been one of the first games where they haven't hit a home run. And I bought a thing specifically from Walgreens yesterday to do it. I don't know. It's a little sad. Javier Baez working a good count here, which is nice.
Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Full count. Sorry, I'm seeing if people want to be on the show. Strike 3. Strike 3. Well, poop.
Batting third.
Anthony Rizzo.
First baseman, number 44.
Some lefty-on-lefty action, if that's what you're into. Some sweet left-on-left action. Batting .261. I think that average is taking a little dip lately. Although he had a hit streak, I think, for a while, too. All these hit streaks are coming on people that aren't actually hitting that well. It's coming with people who are hitting like 1 for 4, but doing it like 6 games in a row. So I feel like it's a misleading. I don't want to say it devalues a hit streak, but if someone goes 1 for 4 every game, that's batting .250. So you could arbitrarily get a hit in every game during the season and go bat .250. So there's an arbitrariness. Don't get me wrong, that'd be an insane coincidence. But I'm just saying. Just like how the cycle, hitting for the cycle has an arbitrariness to it. I mean, it's still the most impressive thing about the cycle is you got 4 hits. And it's just they all happen to be, and that you got a triple. And that you had some, I don't know. I guess the cycle implies a little bit of speed, too, or something crazy happened in the outfield, because you have to get a triple and also hit a home run. But home runs now are becoming not meaningless, but, oh, that's deep into where the gap would be. Is it going to drop? It's going to drop. It's going to be, oh, ground roll double. He probably wasn't going to get more than a double anyway. But goes the other way with it, makes him pay for having that extreme shift on him, as that very easily could have been caught had the shift not been on him. Let's see if they can make him pay. Wilson Contreras is up now. The best hitter on the team through the season so far. Or I should say most productive. Most home runs, highest OPS. Probably the highest average for the amount of bats. Or if qualifying for the amount of bats. His on-base percentage is probably one of the higher ones. Oh, that was not a strike. It didn't look like a strike to me. But they called it a strike. Well, at least so far they've got him to throw some. Not that many pitches. So, strike 3. David Price strikes out 2 of the 3 outs. Yikes. Yikes. Kyle Hendricks, the professor. Give it up for the professor. Look at the sub 1 whip. The strikeouts aren't there amazingly, but like I said, it don't matter. Strikeouts can be a good, they've seen lots of players who strike out a lot of people, but then they don't have lots of other numbers. So strikeouts aren't a definitive way to know how good a pitcher can be, is all I'm saying, because he just got the control. Look at that. Just fucking right on the outside, low corner. Not a lot you can do with that as a hitter, even if you make contact. Yeah, but Justin Turner is an extremely good hitter. I bet his contact rate and his stats is really high on both sides. Ooh. Justin Turner's biggest issue is health. He seems to get injured, but when he was, 3 or 4 years ago, he was putting up real good numbers. See, great, good solid contact the other way. I think I had him on my baseball team last year. He's one of those players that's good enough that you need to that if you have on your roster, you want on your roster. But you also can't really trade, no one wants to trade for him. He's too good to drop, but no one wants to trade for him unless it's part of some other deal as an afterthought. Nowadays, I mean, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago, I think he was probably because I don't think he strikes out that much. I could be wrong, but I think his actually I want to look at that. I'm gonna look at Justin Turner's stats because I feel like he was putting up close to MVP type numbers for a season 3 or 4 years ago. Batting around 300 with 20-some home runs, probably. I mean, his lifetime on base percentage is 367. 2019 was 372. His batting around 290 last year, 27 home runs. And he had less than 500 at bats last year and still hit 27 home runs. I think that might have tied his career high, which actually shows that maybe he hasn't played. So the most at bats he's ever had is 556, and that's the other time he hit 27 home runs. He batted 275. Okay, I guess 3 or 4 years ago. In 2017 and 2018, he hit over 300 both times. 2017, he batted 322 in 130 games. Ground ball, I missed the second out, but got the third out. Yeah, even then he had 457 at bats. With a 415 on base percentage, though, and he had 21 home runs. But 7 steals, so he was 8th in the MVP voting as an all-star in 2017. So I guess he's
the left fielder.
twice he's been in the top 10 in MVP ratings. Or voting, or whatever you call it. And then in 2018 he was 14 in MVP. So he's had 3 top 20. Ooh, Schwarber hits it hard. But it's frustrating when you have a good player who just doesn't play every day. It can be very frustrating. 1-1 to Schwarber. Ha! 2-1 to Schwarber. Called a strike, apparently, on the outside corner. If I had to guess where it was a strike, I mean, I guess it was height-wise, it was good. But I guess it was on the outside corner. It certainly wasn't on the inside corner. Full count. Nice at bat so far by the Schwarbs man. Strike 3. Oh no, ball 4. Well, he got that one back. One that looked like was outside was called the strike earlier, and then one that looked like it was a strike inside got called a ball inside. So I guess it evens out. And now Schwarbs is on base, and Nico Horner's up. Yeah, the 6, 7, 8. I'm not crazy about the 6, 7, 8 hitters power-wise, but I think they have some okay contact. Plus, Turner Perez, he says he's cold right now, but I feel like he's been doing okay. Ooh, that one drops in there. Porter's got some speed too, so hopefully, I bet now he hits into a double play. But he's got enough speed where unless he rips it real hard, I don't think he'll hit into a double play. Ha! Never mind.
That's an out. Out.
Exactly. Hey, my friend Chris. Hey, it's Christy Hartsgrove Moores, everybody. Christy, you're on the baseball show.
No, I'm not.
You are.
That's ridiculous.
I know. I mean, I didn't. That's not why I called originally, but I'm streaming it right now, and so that's.
Oh my god.
How are you doing, Christy?
I'm fine. I'm sorry I didn't get the phone earlier.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And you're adding variety to our or diversity to our show, as you're the second lady on the show, and probably the first Italian.
Oh my gosh! But don't you count as Italian?
Yeah, but I'm the host.
Yourself up.
And also, I'm only an eighth, and then I count the Swiss part as kind of Italian, because it's like Perini or some bullshit.
That's ridiculous.
So I count myself as a fourth. Like the Swiss part of my ethnicity probably spoke Italian, so I count it as Italian.
That is probably good enough. So.
Yeah.
So what baseball are you talking about right now?
My fantasy baseball stream that I do. If you go to Twitch, are you one of those old people who's like, what's Twitch?
I know what Twitch is, but I don't have it.
You don't have. See, that's the thing is you can watch it without having an account. People are like, if you want to like comment and stuff, you have to have an account. But like, and also accounts are free too. But you can watch it online. It's just you can't like comment and stuff and like do the other stuff if you don't have it. But you can still watch it. But and it's okay. It's just me doing, literally, since there's not a baseball season, it's me recording the video game simulations and like commentating like I'm a baseball commentator and like it's really happening.
Here's the thing. The era of baseball that I find myself appreciating the most, as you might expect, is like the really fat 70s era.
Okay.
Where everybody was gross.
See, there's still some of that. It's usually the pitchers that are like that.
Okay.
Because the pitchers are like, if anyone's overweight, it's usually the pitcher or the catchers.
Because if I could just put together like a whole team of like really hairy fatties, like I might even play.
Yeah, that's fun. Do you like the old style mustaches they had too, where they like wax them and curl them?
Without saying, like the gigantic mustaches.
Yeah, and like they would like there'd be a couple of them that would like do the twisty thing, like a 1920s silent villain. There was a couple of those.
Like a ridiculous like mop of hair that doesn't fit.
Oh yeah, and they would have names like Fisher and Cutter and stuff like that. Would be like their nicknames. Yeah. That sounds about right for you. You'd like the old style, the Pittsburgh Pirates hats they used to wear, like don't look like baseball. Like they look like a hat that like a hipster would wear. Like I actually would maybe consider wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates. Like that, if you typed in 1970s Pittsburgh Pirate hat. Hold on. 1970s Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking it up.
That.
Here we go. Like I said, you like wouldn't, if you just saw it, you wouldn't assume it was a baseball cap, or you would assume that it was from the early 1900s, but it's from the 1970s, and they're kind of cool. I kind of like them.
I just want like a team of guys that look like they hydrate with old style.
Yeah. Which old style, rest in peace. You can't get old style at Wrigley Field anymore.
That's weird. Why not?
Because of it's all like I'm assuming because Budweiser is like the league's sponsor, or I don't know. Had something to do. I'm sure money. I'm sure it was money is what it came down to. Because and
they don't let you bring your own beer. You
have
to buy their expensive beer.
No, they're like $7 or $8 beers. But what was it? AJ was telling me at Miller Park. He told me there's a place where you can get a Hams for like $5, and that's like a deal. That's like the best deal. Which like if you've been to baseball games, like a $5 beer in and of itself is a deal, but it might be like a big one too. So it's like, So it's
that's important to know.
Yes.
Everybody write that down.
Yes, I think it's. He said the center field at Miller Park is you can get a Hams. I wish Wrigley had more. I think they do have like beer. They've got some Goose Island and stuff because that's Chicago.
Yeah, but I don't want fancy beer.
Goose Island has some not that fancy beers. I mean, it's still. I mean, to be fair, they were bought by Budweiser like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, they were?
Yes. Which,
Escándalo.
well, they own the breweries still, but Anheuser-Busch bought them. Who Anheuser-Busch is owned by InBev. So whenever you see Budweiser being like, America, America, American, like, it's a Belgium beer company owns them, I think, InBev. Hold on. Which is probably for the best, considering all the Bushes would always have their girlfriends die mysteriously. You laugh, but that's literally happened like twice in the last like 35 years. There's been really questionable deaths and it might have been both. Either way, it's crazy. It might have been the same guy, but it also might have been a father and a son. Like, I think it was the same guy. And the first one was crazier than the second time. But I'm serious. And also because they have their own reality show now, and I'm like, if they don't talk about at least one of the weird deaths then it's not interesting. Like, because they're not paying attention to, I don't know. Look it up. But, But originally...
I just am, like, sick of stupid people getting their own reality shows.
Yeah, but that's the point, though. That's the allure, is, like, your smart people really aren't, unless they're, like savant. The only smart people that they're probably would give reality shows to are people who have autism, because
it's gonna be like Beauty and the Geek.
Yeah.
No, a dating show with nerds and, like, really pretty women.
Yeah, there was a guy from Grinnell College that was on that once, because my sister knew him, I think, because that was around the time my sister...
Why don't they have the opposite, where there's, like, a bunch of dog women, and we're all standing there, and, like, there's hot guys?
Yeah, that's fair. But were the geeks always bad-looking? I don't know, I didn't watch the show. Or were they just nerds?
I remember them just being dorky-looking.
Because I'm a fan, like, I think, like, I'm a fan of sex appeal. Like, I love... like, glasses on girls, I think just as often make them more attractive than not having glasses on.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. No, that's a thing. Specs appeal is a thing. Like Tina Fey. I think it was Tina Fey was the first lady, like the nerdy librarian look kind of became a thing largely because of Tina Fey.
Sure. That makes sense.
I could be wrong. I know at least I can only speak to my own awakenings, but I think that was for me personally. But originally I called you because I had an audition and I wanted to send you I already submitted them, but I wanted to send them to you. It was funny. You would find it funny because it's as an actor, don't you find the of what they want often really hilarious, or like what they describe from the of how what they want from the character as being interesting often?
Well, so, like, is this the one where you were like, am I like, naturally? Is that what you were talking about?
Where what? Sorry. Oh, yeah, the feminine stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it said that, because it was like, it was funny, or not funny, but it was like, gay, schizophrenic, late 20s, early 30s male, and then in parentheses it says, but you don't have to really be gay, or something. Like, they literally said, but doesn't have to actually be gay. But they said, like, feminine.
Horrified.
Yeah. Yeah. But it says a feminine, and I was like, because I'm pretty feminine sometimes. And if I've been, like, in my personality, and my voice is a little high. Like, I go a little, sometimes my register is kind of high. And I say words like, I say super duper, things like that. And, you know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, and also to me it's a fine line between, like, the feminine thing, where I was like, it's, especially when, like, the character is, an LGBTQ character where it's like that's a fine line between becoming a stereotype. You know what I mean? Or what's perceived as a stereotype. That being said, it is like a clinical, it was for a school, so it was like very much like them wanting a stereotype because I think it's like them trying to identify stereotype. You know what I mean? Because they're like looking.
This sounds like a bad job. This sounds like a job that's gonna suck.
I think that it's okay because it's like it won't be broadcast anywhere because it's literally just for like a school for like a day. Like they're gonna show it to like a class or something.
Okay.
So it's nothing that anyone else will ever see, which is cool. But also you'd think that it would because I think it's the lead role. So I was kind of mad that it didn't pay a little more. But I'm talking like I've already gotten the gig, which I probably won't get. But I feel like whenever it's a school doing anything, I'm like they should be paying more. Because schools always, I guess it might be a community. I'm not sure what the college is exactly. But I almost always feel like colleges almost always have money to spend, right?
Well, I mean, usually do. It depends, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, especially now with COVID.
Sure.
Nobody has any money.
Sure. But even like all these self-taped commercial bullshit that's been happening, you know what I mean? Is like sometimes when they're like, where people are only going to get paid, like they're like, well, we're going to use a bunch of 1 or 2 second clips, so everyone's only going to make like it's always like less than $100. But I'm like, fuck that, because like I understand that you're going to do that for like 20 people, but that being said, how much money are you guys saving? By not having a crew. Like, yeah, you're not paying a director $10,000 to shoot the commercial. You're not having a crew. You're not you know what I mean? Like, you're just having everyone film themselves and send it in. Yeah. Yeah, you're hiring an editor and maybe like a director, like, I don't know. I have really mixed feelings. And it's all this, and also being a writer for these fucking things is like the easiest cookie cutter, like, sign me up for that job of give me the cookie cutter to just be like, here's your commercial, where like all you have to do is like just put different content, like just like this one has cinnamon on it, this one has chocolate chips in it, because that's all the only thing that's different about it is like the type of cookie is like the label name, and that's the only thing that's different about all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. Capitalism is like really nakedly gross lately.
Yes.
It's just like, oh,
yeah.
God, so unfair.
Yeah.
Everything.
No, it's yeah, especially because it's trying to act like we're buddies.
I know.
Like, hey there, champ. Still, like, also dating sites are funny because they're like, hey, we know you're not gonna try and fuck as much, but just remember, you can still talk to people. And then maybe you can still, if you really like them, you guys can still fuck. I do like how Dr. Fauci was like talking about that, where he was like, well, you can still go meet people. He basically was like, fucking people is still dangerous kind of anyway, right? Like, he basically was like,
he's like, I am an HIV specialist.
Like, yeah, he's like, having sex already has like risks, right? He was like, so if you're willing to take one more risk than that was already there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's funny because I only saw that article I saw was a very not reported article because it was, I think just because of the strangeness of it, of someone being like, what about fucking people you don't know? And he was just like, well,
give it a shot.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it before.
Yeah, exactly.
Another layer of difficulty, wear a mask and a condom.
Yes. That was actually the funny thing was I saw where it was, I think it was two people, I think it was a male gay sex meme where it was like, don't have sex like this, and it had like two people, it was like a cowgirl style sex, and it was like not, and it had like an X through it, like not like that, and then it had like bent over so that their faces weren't at each, like both wearing masks, and their faces weren't at each other. They're like, that's the way to do it. But
oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
You know, I'm okay. It's the last week of classes. I'm getting everybody through.
Yeah.
It's going well.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy. Like a lot of my students have managed to stay with the classes and not kind of fall out of it. And
Yeah.
just mute and shut off their cameras and be like, yeah, I'm here, it's fine, whatever. You know, like they're actually receiving it. So
that's cool.
That's pretty creepy. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So it's weird though, and I'm wondering like what summer's gonna be like, because normally I would be acting a lot, and everything seems like it's not happening. So it's like,
yeah, that's another reason why I want to make the cartoon, is because I feel like, and not only this could be a, without sounding too, oh Jesus, that is a bad throw. Two errors by, oh, they're gonna give him a single, but also an E5. Yeah. Ooh, it's his 1000th major league hit. Sorry, every now and then I have to go back to baseball. But like, I was like, man, I want to make a cartoon, but especially because I was like, cartoons might become way more popular because you can get away, theoretically, you could get away with doing them where most people aren't around each other. Whereas, like, film shoots.
A decent vocal setup if you
yes.
got, like, a USB microphone and stuck into
sure.
your computer.
If you have, like, a closet with, like, clothes and, like, have, like, a decent microphone, like, that's, like, 80% of having a decent setup. And then being able to, like, work with, an audio producer online who could be like, yes, this sounds good, or yes, this doesn't sound good. So that's why I'm very much considering, or, like, if I can get the money, I'm going to make a longer episode of the cartoon.
That's great.
Yeah, do you want to be the parrot again?
Yes, well, no, I want to be a bigger part. I want to be a bigger part.
I mean, the parrot was the lead in the last one, Christy.
Oh,
You're the lead. You both, you had more screen time than any other character, probably. You got to say the first and last lines of the movie. Yeah, but I mean, I think you're concentrating on the wrong areas of the thing.
I also never really figured out how the parrot feels about the captain.
That's such a stupid actor bullshit thing to ask. I love it and I get it.
Because he's not paying attention to her.
And I was just like, what was my response? You're a pirate bird. Like, I was just like, I understand. And I understand the thought process behind actors when they do that. Yeah, no, I understand. And I can understand why you probably don't respect my lack of, like, or my, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's not a lack of respect. I'm trying to think. That I'm just, a lot of times I'm just like, I should say, like, there's times where I'm like, don't overthink it. You know? Because I don't even like, well, a lot of times, you know, like, do you always write your backstory?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But, okay, and I understand that helps you react to things, but do you ever feel like writing a whole complete backstory can write you, especially comedically if you're improvising, can write yourself into corners and give you less options of where you go with the character in the moment?
No, I don't think I've had that experience.
Okay. That was just a genuine question.
No, I think that's a fair question.
Okay.
I think if you're improvising and you're truly, like, acting,
yeah.
and really paying attention to the circumstances around you, then it doesn't become a control issue.
Yeah.
But if you've, like, done all this work ahead of time, and then you come in and, like, this is what I see in the director's office.
Yeah.
Then you're in trouble.
So, but, and also, do you think that the backstory, more than anything, is a thing to help the actor with their confidence in what they're doing?
Well, I would say it's kind of like understanding the backstory just kind of helps you make more sense. The best thing you can do as an actor is be really specific about why you're doing and saying the things you want to say.
Yeah.
And so Like, it might work, but it might not.
Number 48.
Yeah.
And so you want to try and get specific so that
Yes.
your choices are all tracking and the work that you're doing makes sense for it.
Yeah. But do you understand do you understand the question I'm asking, though, where it's like, is it as much as anything help you feel like, because so much of a thing can be committing to what you're doing. Do you think that people just feel more comfortable if you're able to, like, knowing who you are? Does that make sense? It's as much of it.
I think it helps you, like, know in the moment, like, this is a choice I can make because it makes sense versus I have no idea.
By the way, the Dodgers just scored the first run of the game on a double. That was almost a home run, so I should be happy it was not a home run, but it could have been caught by Kyle Schwarber. You'd like Kyle Schwarber. He's fat by today's standards of baseball without being, which ironically though, he's like less fat than like 95% of the.
I was gonna say, is that like Tom Hanks in League of Their Own fat? Because he wasn't fat.
Yes, and Tom Hanks gained a bunch of weight for that.
Yeah, and it didn't even show.
Yeah, it did. He gained like 30 or 40 pounds, didn't he?
All right, listen, it showed on camera.
On his tummy. Yeah.
I don't think it showed in real life because I was an extra in League of Their Own.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Did you see him? Did you get to see him?
Yeah, he was so nice. He came up and signed programs and stuff for people.
I heard that he is just the nicest person to extras and crew members. Like I heard on
completely is. He's so funny. He's really charming.
Yeah.
He was super genuine.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy that you would want it to be. Is exactly who he was.
Like I heard on Castaway that he like plays cards and stuff with just the crew. Like would hang out with them. Is what I had heard.
Like he doesn't think he's better than anybody, and he's really super professional.
Yeah.
And he's just a great guy.
Does he not think he is better than anybody, or does he know that he's so much better than everybody, and that he doesn't need to? I feel like the biggest big shots are like, my life's great and I'm happy, so why wouldn't I be nice to everyone? Because everything's great.
Well, I do think maybe that's some of it.
Yeah.
Like I know how fortunate I am. And
Yes.
I know that I don't have anything to prove, so I can just chill.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to be.
Yeah, and I wasn't saying that in a bad way. I was saying it in a good way, where it's like, because to me, it's like when you're doing great, like, I think that would be the easiest time to be nice. You would think, right? If your life's if your life's amazing and everything's going exactly, like, if you were living exactly the life you want to live, how could you not be happy? I mean, maybe that's, I know.
How could you not, like,
if you are happy, I should say.
If he needs one, like, well, how could you not be happy?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Because I'd like to think.
So many times, like, super famous people are such dicks.
Yeah. It is a little weird. And sometimes I get it when, like, when people are like, I'm mad because people won't leave me alone.
That's fair.
I kind of get it, but at the same, there's also the thing where it's all like, well, yeah, but also, because people are like, I wish I could go outside. And it's like, you could very easily choose to not be famous anymore. You could go get a regular job and people will leave you alone. Like, go get a job at fucking Hy-Vee and they'll do a story on it. They'll do a story on it right away. But guess what? You won't be famous anymore for very long if you just choose to do that. And you know what? No one's going to choose that, because you know what fucking sucks more than not being able to eat out for the whole time is fucking working a real job. That, like, because I was watching a thing where they're talking to Pete Davidson, and he was just like, I can't fucking go out and eat. And and it was funny though, because it was you're familiar with the Oh Hello show, right? They have a podcast now, and it's called Die Town, and it's them doing, the podcast is loosely about the death of Princess Diana, and they claim that it's like, because it's they're like, because Ira Glass is on it, and they even talk to, like, at the beginning where they're just like, this is where Ira Glass is like, this has been done before, you know, and they're like, not by us. So it's really funny, but they talk to Pete Davidson some, and I get what he's saying too, where he's like, I took it for granted that I can't go out anymore and do things, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sure, and also because he's super stoned, and I can understand like wearing headphones and like someone tapping you on the shoulder, that would like horrify me. Like if I was like wearing headphones and just like random people, like especially if you're in New York City and like all of a sudden someone taps you on the shoulder, like that would be scary. Because I don't know, but it was still just one of those things, especially with Pete Davidson, because I don't understand. I don't think he's that funny. Like, sometimes he'll say stuff that's really funny, but I can't tell if he's funny or just a dipshit who says funny things.
I know. I thought, like, sometimes I watch him and I'm like, oh, that was a great one. Most of the time I'm watching it and I'm like, is this one of those things where I don't understand it?
Yeah.
Because I'm old and I'm like, is this on YouTube or something? And the kids watch it?
Yeah.
Like, it just is, it feels really, like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not funny. I'm like, was that a sentence?
Yes, and then on Saturday Night Live, he's not like a good actor. Like he like got on Saturday Night Live when he was like super young as like, and he was like an okay stand-up who like got put on Saturday Night Live, and because he's still like 20, like he's in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
So, which I can understand too. Like, I can only imagine if I ended up on SNL when I was like 18 or 19, I would be like, what? I'm surprised he has that much. Although it is funny when they like kind of give him shit when one of them is all like, have you considered because you know he always is like dressed really ridiculous and has his hair like being like dyed a crazy color and like so one of them is all like, have you considered maybe not being so ostentatious looking or like something like that. But he did say he's used, because that's another thing. I was like, would you dress up in like a face, like a fake nose, or wear like a hat, or like would you try and disguise yourself if you were famous ever? And also, would that maybe be kind of fun at times to like have like have a fake mustache and maybe like a wig or something?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I can understand. I don't know. There's some people where it's just like, oh man, it must be great to be like certain writer, like especially if you're like a famous writer, but not like too famous, where you can like where you can do whatever you want as a writer and still go out in public because no one cares enough about writers to know what they look like.
But like, I mean, I think I don't know. I think I understand it too because he's so young.
Yeah.
Like, and I watch like my students try to figure out their lives.
Yeah.
You know, they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine being that age and like having to sign contracts for shit.
Yes. Or even.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Or even like.
Also, like Boss's dad. Like,
he might have, because he lived with his mom, I think, and up until, in fact, he might still live with his mom, or recently moved out of his mom's, but and I can only imagine, because there's times where I see stand-ups and I'm like, where they'll say really stupid things, and then I think about when I was like, oh, but when I was 20, like, or 22, you know, whatever, where I was just like, oh, I would have been way worse. As far as, like, the things I say that I would, like, regret saying. Like, I think of some of the things I said when I was younger in college, like, or in my late teens. And I'm just like, yeah.
It's weird. It's hard. I don't get it. I mean, and now it's COVID, so I'm like, everybody gets a pass for me.
Yeah.
Unless you're, like, completely the worst part. Unless you're, like, you know, the person who did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're fine.
I do like they're jumping on Ellen right now. I do like that Ellen's getting some comeuppance.
Why is that happening? What did she do?
She is. This has like been a not that kept secret. Is that Ellen treats her writing staff like garbage? Like I've heard that for like half a decade. That she is just really mean to her staff. And then recently, did you hear? Recently, she. When she was like gonna start my show back, like the show she's been doing from home is like some of the writers didn't get rehired and their pays all got cut, and but she was like, in her thing she was like, can't wait to get back to my crew and my blah blah blah, and it's like half the time the people that are coming and filming there aren't the crew from before, and the writers the writers were really left in the dark, and then like the only time that they did really get were getting back to from management. It was to tell them that their pay was getting cut. Things like that.
Sucks.
Yeah. But
like she's like the poster child for being nice and like dancing.
Yes. Yeah, dancing and also when she was recording a thing where she's like, it's like being in a prison, like when people that have mansions and they're like, it's like being in a prison. It's like, no. Yes. Yes, if you have your own home theater and a pool and have a home gym and can order any food you want to still at all. Yeah, it's home run for the Cubs. Chris Bryant hits a solo home run to right center field, 411 feet. With 101.9 miles per hour exit velocity. Ooh, I have a thing I bought for this. You can't see it, Christy, because you're not watching.
I can't.
But we call them dongers. Home runs are called dongers sometimes. You can't really tell the light's blue, but this is a blue light. Woo! Donger alarm is what we have it. And it's a blue light that I have, but it just, like, it's, on my camera, it's not tracking as blue, it's tracking as really overexposed. But, it's blue light, donger, woo, and there's literally one person watching me on my Twitch, so.
Hi, one person.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a moderator, too, or something that just, like, has to do it. Just to make sure I'm not like talking, that I'm not like saying things about the Holocaust or anything.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let you. Moderator, I wouldn't let him.
Yeah, it's fair. But yeah. So.
We're talking about Ellen being a bitch.
Yeah, I heard she's not a nice lady to work for. And I heard there was.
So many, like Julia Roberts, I hear she's a bitch. Oh, I got a bad cat.
I thought you were talking to Mark. Mark, what did I say about sitting on the counter? You got a little spritz bottle for him? No! That's you keep that up. You're not getting your little Caesars hot and ready tonight, mister. Mister.
Oh my god, he's back. Oh my god, he's so bad. Hold on, I gotta super soak him.
Yeah. You strike one, Anthony Rizzo.
I actually do have a super soaker.
Do you?
Like, waste him.
There's some, you can get some pressure behind those things.
I know, because he's like, I missed him with the spray bottle, and he was like, thank you.
Yeah, he liked it. He was like, can you put a fan behind that? Really go the full.
He was like, this is great, makes my survey glasses.
Yeah.
So, I got a super soaker, and now she's terrified.
Yeah, that's fair.
It takes me seriously.
Yeah. Understandable. Ooh, Anthony Rizzo strikes out on a low and away breaking ball.
What an asshole.
Yeah. Old Anthony Rizzo. I like Anthony.
Bringing shame on the people of Italy.
Yeah, he actually he played before he was really good, like 7 years ago. He played for the Italian national team in the World Baseball Classic, whatever it was. It essentially was like the Olympics but for baseball. Or like the World Cup, but for baseball.
And then Italy was like, you can have this guy.
He got better, and then now he's probably. I don't think he would play for the Italy team anymore. I think he's good enough where he might play on the American team. He might. I don't know if he'd start though. He'd maybe be like the backup, because there's a couple really good first basemen that are probably Americans. But because the thing is, you can play. I think his grandparents are from Italy, and baseball is there are rules for that on any ethnicity or any ancestry from either side of your family that goes back to your grandparents, and I think they do that so they can spread it out a little, because otherwise it would be mostly like it would be all America, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and like a couple other Central America countries probably. In Korea, I guess Korea has actually won it. Korea or Japan have actually each won it, maybe. So I take that back there too. There'd also be them. So there'd be like yeah. It still is mostly, largely those countries are pretty dominant. But
just like, it's like hitting me, like how bad this is. Like we don't have any baseball happening.
yeah, and won't till probably June. Because they have to basically go back to spring training for a while before they can go back. So it's at earliest, is what I'm hearing, is early June, hopefully. Yeah, I'm not happy about. I mean, I'd be more happy if more people followed my Twitch, which maybe they will. I'm starting to do trivia nights on it. So you should come. You should get an account and do trivia on it. I thought it was you, but it wasn't you.
Because, sure?
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you don't have a Twitch account, because you said something.
I do have a Twitch account.
Okay. Did you comment ever when I was like doing trivia?
I did.
Was it you who said that you didn't like the Diamondbacks because they were an expansion team?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That shows how much that shows how old you are, but also shows how much you don't really like. I very rarely will I hear anyone be like, "Oh, Diamondbacks aren't a real team; they're an expansion." That's such like a 1997 thing to say, and I appreciate it, and I thought it was very funny.
Last time I ever paid attention to any baseball, so I was like, "What do I know about baseball?" Here we go.
Yeah, is that in the mid 90s they added a couple teams.
There's that guy on the Diamondbacks back then that looked like a lizard, and he had a big long mullet. So gross.
Maybe John Kruk?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. He was nasty looking.
Or was he really tall? Was he really tall? Oh, Randy Johnson.
Oh, him, yeah.
Randy Johnson is one of the best one of the best pitchers of all time. He's number 2 on the. I don't know if John Kruk ever played. He played most of the Phillies. I don't know if he played for them as Diamondbacks. But Randy Johnson has the second most strikeouts of all times, and has thrown 20 strikeout game before. Maybe one was regulation, but one was extra innings. But
I'm just saying, I like face value with like pitchers.
Yeah. Oh, they called him the Big Unit. His nickname was the Big Unit. I'm not even joking. That was his nickname. Also, if you want to see something crazy, if you Google search Randy Johnson bird exploding, because it's exactly what it sounds like. This is one of the craziest things that happened in baseball ever. Is and keep in mind he threw like 98 miles per hour, 98, like he was one of the fastest pitchers in baseball. Okay, a bird flew in the way of his fastball once, and all you can see is literally feathers going everywhere. So it literally is like a bird exploding with its feathers. It's funny in that it looks like it doesn't look real because there's way less blood than you would think. It's just all feathers. Like it looks like what would in a comedy what it would look like.
Yeah.
Go look at it. Go watch it. I mean, sure you feel bad that I'm fairly sure it killed the bird, but the feathers just go everywhere.
Bird dying.
But that's how funny it is that I still think it's funny. And don't get me, and I feel really bad about it killing. Like I don't kill bugs even. At least the first. Yeah, or like if a gnat lands on me, I like brush it off. But also I get really mad at them when like, because the Dalai Lama has the saying about like when a fly comes at me, the first thing is I swat it away. The second time I don't. Like the second time I kill it. Because I get really mad at how dumb bugs are when I'm just like, dude, I'm literally 100,000 times your size and weight. I'm giving you a chance to get away from me. Why aren't you taking this chance to get away from me? Oh, the Dodgers just took the lead. There's been some sloppy ass defense in this game. Nuts. But yeah, so I don't know. But so have you been getting acting? What? Sorry.
Have we gotten rid of that viewer yet?
Nope, still one.
Wow.
Still one.
That's
Let's go.
great.
Still one person watching now. I'm actually kind of sad because usually I get another viewer, but I think it's Trenton, and I mean, he might watch later too. I'm not for sure, but I think it's Trenton because no, Trent Straczynski's been watching lately now too. But Trenton Orris, I think I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but they almost watch. They watch almost all of them, and they seem to know comedians' jokes. Like when other comedians, when I'm talking to them or when they're so they'll like say something, and so I think it's them, but I'm not sure. So I'm sure they'll be watching this at some point, but yeah. Right now the person is Comula, so I don't know who Comula is.
Well, I don't have any idea.
I don't either. It's just us though. It's just us three. Watching Jock Peters. Well, I guess it's two of us watching Jock Peters. One of us having a conversation with me. Shit. Another line drive up the middle.
That's bad.
That is bad. I mean, they didn't score, but Kyle Hendricks has been giving up some solid contact, and he's one of my favorite pitchers, but he doesn't throw very hard. Oh, and they're gonna bring in a relief pitcher. Kyle Hendricks, they call him the professor because he's a nerd, but he's got a Dartmouth degree. He went to Dartmouth, and he has a degree in economics from Dartmouth. But I don't. Well, he's unique in that his fastball is like 88 miles per hour, which is like probably, as far as starting pitching goes, is probably the lowest average fastball in the league.
I was going to say, that's nothing compared to the big unit.
Yes, the big unit averaged probably at least 10 miles per hour faster on his fastball, or close to it. And there are pitchers now that throw 102, 103 miles per hour, which is crazy. Which, side note, did you ever see the is it called Mean Street Hooligans or Green Street Hooligans? With the one about soccer hooligans with Elijah Wood?
No, I never saw it.
Okay. They really needed an advisor, a script advisor on that movie, because there's a scene, because it's a guy from Boston who Elijah Wood, of all people, plays someone from Boston. Who goes and visits his cousin in London or somewhere in England or in Ireland or some UK place where they really like soccer. But they're like going back and forth where Elijah Wood's a huge Boston baseball fan. And they're going back and forth talking about like amazing things that their sport has. And one thing Elijah Wood says is there's a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox who can throw the ball faster than 90 miles per hour. Which is like, if anyone was on that set that knew anything about baseball, would be like, hey, literally everyone in baseball who's a pitcher can throw the ball over 90. Like, the only people that can't throw over 90 are like screwball, knuckleball pitchers. Like, that's it. And there are people that can throw over 100. There's like a handful of people that can throw over 100. So like, whenever I watch that, which is the fucked up thing is it's a pretty good movie, but when he like with 100% seriousness makes that claim as though it's a thing that's an anomaly in the sport and not the norm is kind of like frustrating to me.
Yeah, no, that's bad writing. That's bad.
Yeah.
They didn't do their best.
Yeah.
Am I crazy in thinking that the catcher has a really shitty job?
No, it's hard. Being catcher is super hard, and it's the hardest on the body because you're basically like, imagine being on a squatty potty for like 2 hours with like 20 pounds of gear on, because that's kind of what it's like. Is you have to. It's bad on your knees.
It would be really bad on your lower back too.
Yes, and also you get hit, like you get foul tips into your face and into your groin a lot, like where you can get like very easily you get concussions or I don't know. It's because if the batter like barely makes contact with the ball, where it just change it, where where it'll slow it down by maybe 10 miles per hour, but it changes its direction just enough where it'll like where you can't catch it and it'll go into whatever part of its body it hits. And like I said, so they get, I mean, they have a cup, but there's only so much a thin layer of plastic can do when a projectile hits your dick at 95 miles per hour, or balls, you know what I mean, or bounces up and hits your balls.
It's just gonna explode.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a great. That was the one position when I played baseball that I maybe played once or twice when I was like really young, and I was like, this fucking sucks. And I played. I literally played everywhere else in the field except for catcher after I was like 10. I was just like, I'm never gonna do that. That's fucking sucks. Yeah.
So bring it back to the game. What's happening on the screen?
Blake Treinen just fucking got rid of the Cubs in quick order. So the middle of the 7th right now is when we would have like usually where like Harry Carey would sing the 7th inning stretch, I believe. I think it's in between. Yeah, but
when I was in the 4th grade, I had perfect attendance, and they took us to a Cubs game on Friday, and we sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" with Harry Carey.
Really? Was it, when you say us, do you mean you and the other weird person who had perfect attendance?
Yeah, there were like 9 of us.
That's amazing to me.
Made it to class every day.
That blows my mind. I remember there was a girl who had perfect attendance when I graduated from 6th grade. A girl who had perfect attendance the entire time through elementary school. Yeah. It blows my mind. Yeah, then they gave her an award, but I almost, I felt bad, because I was just like, I very much was very reasonable with my fake sick days. You know what I mean? Like, I faked sick just the right amount of time where I didn't really get much pushback on it, you know?
I just feel like if you're in perfect attendance, you should get to miss, like, the first year of high school.
The third baseman.
Sure.
Like, skip it.
But that's a slippery slope, though, because I feel like you realize that was for me when my senior year of high school was the first time that I ever had any free time, and that like school wasn't like consuming everything that I was doing, and I started smoking pot more and like drink, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I was like, and ever since then, like ironically, when it started to become important to hunker down and get things done was when I was like, oh, this is way better, because I had like a 3.9 when I graduated high school. Yeah, no, and I would get in trouble if I didn't have all A's. Like, I think I had a C+ in pre-calc was the worst grade I think I maybe ever had in high school, and then I had like a B- in driver's ed of all things. And then maybe a B in physics, and then I think I mostly had all A's, aside from those.
That's great.
Yeah.
I wasn't a student.
It was okay.
I couldn't figure out the purpose of school other than to keep me from watching television in my freshman and sophomore years. And then once my junior year started, I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
You know, we can start taking AP classes, and I was actually interested in the material. And so it wasn't as boring.
See,
but up until then, it was just
yeah, my senior year I had taken so much, because up until then my dad basically decided what classes I took, and because he was just like science and math, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a doctor or something, so I'll just do whatever is told of me, because he knows, in my eyes I was like, well, he knows what I should take, because I'm probably gonna become a dentist or like a doctor or something. And my dad would say, take these classes, and I'd say, okay. And I liked taking I liked taking written tests way more than I liked homework, if that makes sense. Or way more than I liked just like taking a Scantron test as opposed to like writing a paper over X amount of time. So that could be trouble. A double, fuck. Cubs give up another double. 3-1 now. Possibly. They've already lost 2 or 3 in a row, but the Dodgers are very good, though, too. They're a very good team. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, my senior year was like I had already taken like all the science and math I needed. So I started taking like like classes, like history classes that I liked, and there was a movie making class, and it was just and then that's also around like after the first semester or the first like quarter, I was like, oh, I don't want to be a fucking dentist. So I was like, I want to make movies, and so I just started doing all the other bullshit of like whatever. Yeah, so it was it was kind of crazy. It was really fun though, because I was still a really good student, but I was getting drunk sometimes not drunk. I would have a drink or two before school, at times. And then I would get stoned, and then with all of my Spanish, or like half of my Spanish 4 class would just because did you guys have open, did seniors have open campus, like if you didn't have class? Okay. See, we had that, and my senior year I had taken so many classes where I just had so much open time. So I either didn't have to be at school till like 9 something, or I got out of school at like 12 or 1. So it was just like my Spanish 4 class would just get out and go smoke pot on the gravel roads listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers By the Way album. Yeah. No, but it was great. And it was so much more fun than I had been like allowing myself to have. And I'm bad at finding the balance. I'm really bad at balance. Like I went from like all the time doing lots of homework and making sure I did everything right, and being involved in sports and activities, to like I quit all the although I had a job, I worked at Made Right, and I worked at the teen center, although that was super easy too.
Did your parents freak out on you?
No, because I still had really good grades.
Oh, so they were just like, that's an A.
They basically were like, as long as I don't, because they knew I was stoned a lot. Like it was basically like, as long as you don't get brought home in handcuffs, was essentially, because there was one time where, because like my unofficial quote unquote curfew was like midnight, but my parents would always go to sleep before then, so I would just do whatever. And there's Chris Bryant hits another home run. That one might be even farther than the first, as the first one went 411. This one 431. That's a home run in pretty much every ballpark nowadays. Not everywhere, but most dimensions. But one time I used to beer bong gin and vodka, or gin and what's the word I'm looking for? Tonic. I was doing that at a friend's place. That was probably like a couple miles away, but I drove there. But I got a phone call from my parent, which, by the way, when I got my first cell phone when I was like 18, I didn't want it. Like, it was my parents were getting it, and I was like, I don't want my parents to know where I'm at whenever I'm, like, at any point in time. Like, so... Yeah, but even then, it was just like, we had landlines, and also, like, that was back when minutes mattered, too, so you really couldn't, like, waste minutes. Like... that was like I had a Nokia phone that was like where you could play Snake on it. One of those, if you remember those. But yeah, they were fine. They were fine. But so like, I get a call at like probably 2 or 3 in the morning when I'm wasted at my friend Trent's house, and my parents are like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm at Trent's." And they're like, "Get home." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Can you?" And I'm like, yeah. And so then I get home, and they try and talk. I think they maybe tried to come down and talk to me, and I was like, "I'm in bed. Leave me alone." And then the next day, my mom was like, "Your dad said you smelled like alcohol." I wanted to be like, well, fucking no shit. Like, yeah, duh. Like, or there was another time where I was just really high at home, and I was eating pizza, and my mom was just like, "Do you have the munchies?" And I was like, "I won't," because I was like reheating Pizza Ranch or something. And I was like, "I won't dignify that with an answer." And then there was another time when I was like, I was eating directly from a bag of dinner rolls. And my mom was like, "Spencer, it's hard for me to look away Or, like, it's hard for me to, like, look the other way when you're eating directly from a bag of dinner rolls. Like, family-sized, 12 to 18 bag size of dinner rolls. And I was just like... Yeah. Yeah, whatever. I should have been like, well, fucking cook dinner and maybe I won't have to fucking eat directly from a bag of dinner rolls, lady. Maybe cook a decent meal sometime for me, and I won't fucking be eating just toaster strudels and fuck. I don't know how. I didn't get nutrients, and the only nutrients I got from my body was from like pasta and pizza, which isn't great, but still, like, because I didn't eat vegetables. I didn't. I just did. I can't think of any time I ate vegetables. I mostly ate breads and cheeses. And then, like, I got fruit-flavored things, so, like, fruit roll-ups, I guess? Does that count at all? I don't know.
Fruit leather does count as fruit, but, like, depends on if it's good or if it's, like, plastic.
I mean, fruit flavor doesn't mean... I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're... I don't know. But I can't believe I was in such amazing shape and ate only... Like, I eat a lot of good foods now. Like, I eat Brussels sprouts and green beans and like and you know all the things that are supposed to be good for you now, and my body is like I had six-pack and the weird V things that people that have a really good health have, you know what I mean? Like when you have, yeah, but I ate such garbage. I want to be 18 again. When are they gonna get that?
I was really fat when I was a kid. I was
Yeah.
And then I was not fat, and then I was fat, and then I was not fat, and then I was fat, and now I'm fat.
Yeah, you're a real Oprah.
I got it. Yeah, I totally got it.
You're not fat. You weren't last time I saw you, at least. I guess it's been a month or two.
Well, it's been quarantine.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You know what's crazy is I like, because I haven't necessarily gained weight, but I definitely can tell I'm like losing muscle mass because I was like going to the gym a lot. And I was, like, working out all the time. But I'm also mad because, like, I have cut my drinking down by so much. Like, by 90% probably, easy. So and when I drink, not only do I drink probably 1 to 2,000 alcohol calories, but then I also eat a bunch of garbage. But the fact that I was, like, working out so heavily, I think, like, canceled it out. And now I'm, like, I don't know. I'm a little mad that I'm not...
I was thinking, like, where can I fit an elliptical in my house? Like, I have a small apartment. Do I get rid of the dining room table and make that section, like, elliptical town?
Yeah.
Or, like...
Well, I have a row... It's, like, it's, like, an in-between rowing machine. And it used to be really loud, and it still is loud, but, like... I finally have some WD-40, and I got some garage door lube that I can put on it if I really need to, that I just got in the mail. But, like, it used to just be like, and so, like, I wouldn't do it because I'm in an apartment complex, so, like, on the top floor, where I was like, oh, this would be horrible for whoever's beneath me. But now that I got some WD-40, it's not as loud, and so now I can, just literally yesterday, started being able to, like, okay, I need to bring back the cardio. Because I've got kettlebells, but I feel like it's not doing enough. I need to bring back the cardio.
I know. I've been doing Richard Simmons. He is so fucking funny.
Yeah? Like new Richard Simmons or like old,
because he's amazing.
Like VHS tape Richard Simmons, like sweating to the oldies?
Actually, Richard Simmons supposedly has made a channel on YouTube. It's probably his Panthers or his people.
Yes, I was gonna say there's a weird conspiracy theory about him being like controlled by like, I don't know if it's his manager or producer or like his butler, but there's been weird things where they're like supposedly being, I don't know exactly.
Yeah, that he's being controlled by his housekeeper was the theory for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think he came on that, if I remember correctly, he came on that podcast and was like, no, I'm okay. I just don't want to be around people anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm like, oh, Richard Simmons.
You know who's...
I blame you, and also I support you, and I'm sorry, and you're cool.
You know who's blown up lately online, on social media is Leslie. Do you know, is it Leslie Jordan?
Leslie Jordan's hilarious.
Yeah. Which when they were talking about it, I was like, yeah, like, because I always think of, is it Ski Patrol or Ski School that they're like the bad instructor person in?
I don't think I ever saw those.
Oh, man. because they've always been like the gay Southern draw, and they play they play like the not I don't know if they're the bad guy, but they're like kind of someone that like gets pranks played on them in like an 80s ski movie. It's either Ski School or Ski Patrol.
He has the cutest voice I've ever heard in my life.
I didn't realize, because people are like, oh, he's becoming really famous right now, and I was like, oh my god, he must be like 90 years old. But no, he's like in his early 60s. I just always thought in those 80s movies he was like in his mid-late 20s, but I thought he was like in his 40s.
Really?
Yeah, look at him, and now that I'm in my 30s, when I look at him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's totally like 30. But when I was little, he looked so old to me.
I know. It's eye bags, man.
Yeah, eye bags are big.
They really fuck you up. They make you look like you're like 10 years old.
I know. That's why I'm hoping my eye bags will. I'm hoping that I'm sleeping, or the fact that I'm not drinking as much. Hopefully that'll. I don't know. It's weird. My face is animated, and I always like crunch my head. And my mom would always be like, "Don't crunch your head; you'll get lines," which is like, in and of itself, makes me like. My mom would say that to when I was like 17, which is like the wrong time to be telling people that they're gonna get lines on their head. But I mean, I'm kicking myself for not listening now, But because I make.
Don't worry about it. You look boyish.
Thank you. I take it as a compliment. I was gonna do a thing. I'm starting to get a little bit of wrinkle, not necessarily on the forehead as much, really, as like getting a little bit of crow's feet of the bags. But I was gonna do a joke where I was like, something about Peter Pan syndrome, but it's like, but it's not what you think. I just like to fight with middle-aged amputee men or something like that. Because like Captain Hook, yeah. Yeah, Captain Hook was an amputee.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That's what or like I like to wear tights and sword fight with middle-aged amputees. That's what I was just gonna say. Like, I have Peter Pan syndrome, but it's not what you think. In that I like to wear green tights and sword fight with middle-aged amputees on boats or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that a funny joke? Do you think that's funny?
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we've reached the level of indifference in this phone conversation. It has been an hour, so I'm gonna let you go, Christy. Thanks for joining us on the thing. I already sent in the auditions, so I won't send them to you because they'll do no good. Because either you'll say they're good, which is fine, or else you'll say you should have done this differently, which doesn't help me at all because I can't resend them now. So, yeah.
So stick with it.
Yes, indeedy. But. All right, well, you have a good one, and we'll talk here sometime soon.
You too, and I'm rooting for the Cubs.
Yeah, come to do the trivia. How late would you be willing to start a trivia that would last like an hour and a half?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.? Okay.
Yeah.
So if I start at 8 p.m. on Wednesday or Thursday, you'll come do the trivia.
Yeah.
I might have a category be space alien butts.
Oh, nice.
Because people were saying butts, and you said space aliens. Who knows? Maybe I'll just show pictures of different space aliens' butts and be like, whose butt is that? What space alien's butt is that? We'll see.
Yeah.
But, or I might have it just be space aliens and butts, so that way it gives me lots of leeway on what the questions can be. Yeah, there we go. See, you're already doing half the work for me. Well, great. Well, thank you, Christy, for being on the show.
Thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, you have a good one, and we'll talk soon, hopefully.
Okay.
Okay, be well.
Spencer.
Bye, Christy. That was Christy Hartsgrove, Moores.
Your attention, please.
Now Kenley Jansen. Uh-oh, this probably isn't good. His ERA, perfect! 0 through 12.2 innings, 13 games, 12 for 12 in save opportunities. On I guess the contrarian would say, or the argument would be, well, he's due to give up one. You can't go perfect the whole year, right? No one has a 0 ERA through the whole year. That never happens. Kyle Schwarber's got good power against right-handed pitching. Is what you'd say. Oh, hits it through the ship. A base hit. The tying run now on first base. Nicely done, Kyle. Although now I think it starts to become slim pickings here, I think. Nico Horner. He's got speed. I think, is he going to maybe try? He could try and bunt his way on. Because he's had a bunt single before. He's gonna say, hey, I've got speed. Oh, I forgot to do the donger light earlier. That's for Chris Bryant earlier. I guess I shouldn't do that. That's my own fault. I shouldn't have. I retract it. I missed the opportunity. I shouldn't have done it at this point in time. Well, oh man. Well, luckily, the faster person is on first. They might try and steal with Horner. Unfortunately, they didn't get the lead guy to second, but fortunately, Almora has enough speed where they might steal with him. Ball 1 to Albert Almora, and also Albert Almora has decent speed too. So we'll see here. I don't know who the catcher is today for the Dodgers. It could be Will Smith. Yes, Will Smith. Not that Will Smith, but a different Will Smith. I believe is his name. Pretty sure is his name. Was the rookie last year. Ooh, Almora hits it down the line, but too far to the right of the line. Yeah. The first base. Wow! They called that a ball. It looked like a strike to me, but I'll take it. He says ear, nose, other ear, nose, chin. That's the sign that he's getting across. Here we go. 2-1 pitch to Albert Almora Jr. Oh, and the throw to first, but Schwarber's didn't look like he was stealing, but I guess we'll see here. 2-1. Whoops. 2-2 now. Just accidentally took out my ears. All right, the 2-2 count to Almora. 1 out.
No.
3-2. The question here is, do you send the runner? Maybe. Oh, is that Schwarber, or did they pinch run? They might have pinch run. I'm not sure if that's Schwarber or not. I don't know. But you maybe send the runner here to get yourself out of the double play and to possibly steal the base. All four. All right. The go-ahead run on first, tying run at second. The Cubs maybe have something going. Hernan Perez with his chance to do something here. He's 1 for 2 on the day. I think he maybe had a double earlier. Yes, double in the third. 6 for 29 on the season, 207. Although the majority of his hits have come lately, I believe. So that's something. Let's see what Hernan Perez can do here. And the pitcher spot is on deck. Ah, fuck. Infield fly rule. That's an out. Well, presumably Ian Happ, I think. Yep. Ian Happ pinch hitting for the pitcher. Pinch hitting for the pitching spot. Yes, pinch hitting for the pitching spot. Yeah. Takes it low. On deck is Chris Bryant. I'm just making all sorts of blunders. But Chris Bryant's on deck, who already has 2 home runs on the day. So we'll see how they pitch him. Happ has power from the left-hand side. He's a switch hitter. Oh, that's the fucking game. Shit. Well, David Price looks like he's the player of the game. I mean, because Kyle Hendricks is going to get his second loss, but Kyle Hendricks didn't pitch terribly. Yeah, just player of the game, 6 innings pitch. 5 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. That's not that good. I don't know if that's player of the game good. I mean, Kyle Hendricks still had a pretty okay game, too. I think Chris Bryant, if the Cubs would have won, Chris Bryant for sure would have been the player of the game, as he had 2 home runs, which is far more impressive than an okay quality start. like a bare like minimum innings for a quality start. But I digress. The Cubs skid continues to. Is that 3 losses maybe in a row? And this one was kind of close the whole time. I will say at least this loss was an interesting game as opposed to that last one where they lost 13-0. Tomorrow is Yu Darvish versus Alex Wood. Alex Wood somehow has a 2.1 ERA despite 2-1 win-loss record despite a 6 ERA. Yeah, at least, right, Nancy? This one was at least fun to watch because it was close. And like I said, Chris Bryant was on deck and he had 2 home runs already. But Kenley Jansen remains perfect through over 13 innings, has a 0 ERA, 13 for 13, I believe, in save opportunities. Let's take a look at the league standings. Well, the Reds and the Cubs tied, despite the fact that the Reds have a slight... I mean, I guess the Cubs have more wins, but the winning percentage is better of the Reds. But apparently, they're saying it's the same, which is fine. I guess the Cubs have one more win. They also have one more loss. I don't know. But so it's tied with the next closest team, the Cardinals, 7 games back. The Brewers, 11.5 back. And the Pirates, 15 games back. So the Pirates have lost 10 in a row. That ain't great. Yeah, tomorrow, like I said, Yu Darvish versus Alex Wood. We'll see you there. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the last second follow, Nancy, I'll be doing trivia again on either Wednesday or Thursday, maybe? I don't know. I haven't decided yet for trivia, but probably around 8 o'clock on Wednesday or Thursday. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all. Thank the one person that was here and then Nancy for joining. Oh, there's more people. I don't know how. Sometimes it says that there's who's watching now and who hasn't. But anyway. Yeah, hopefully it won't lag. I might lower my bit rate too. That might help. I don't know if that's a your end thing or my end thing. I know that'll help the overall lag as far as time for me recording. But we'll see. I'll see y'all later.